Hello, everyone. I just want to talk about everything going on. Um, but I'd like to say Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I think we should be grateful for everything we have. Even though we have unsure elections and, looks like that we had cheating going on in the elections and they're still trying to figure that out. You got Corona going on where people are getting sick and people don't know what's going on with Corona. People aren't working. We still live in. If you live in the United States, we still live in one of the greatest countries. We still pretty much all have food. We're taken care of, um, and even though it may seem bleak for a lot of things, you got to count your blessings on what you have. And yes, there's a lot of things going on that are to be determined. We don't know which way it's going to go. But the way I look at it, I try to hold my head up and keep on going. For me personally, I'm working. Um, I'm doing, okay. I got food. I got, shelter. I got more than a lot of people do in other countries. And so, that's what we got to look at now is, if you're living in the United States and if you're, even if you're not working, or you get money from unemployment or whatever, you're surviving and getting through. That's what we got to be grateful for is the things we have. And even if you're not from another country, you have things, you have your health, you have, somewhere to live, you have food, and, you got to be happy. You don't have to be happy, but you should be happy because you have things that, at least the basic necessities. And, I think a lot of people get caught up in everything that they don't have. And you should look at what you do have. If you don't have a lot, I know it's hard. But the thing is that if we try to be grateful for what we have, try to be understanding of others, try to be respectful of each other, I think it changes a lot of lives. Because there's so many things that have been gone on, at least here in America, that people are rioting, people are looting, people are attacking each other. You got all these protests, you got people shooting each other, you got elections that are questionable, and it's hard for a lot of people, And then the corona, it's around the world, not just here in the U.S., but around the world. People are suffering from corona in different countries. People are sick. People are dying. And I'm not saying corona is fake virus. I know people are dying from it, but I do see that it is kind of pushed in a way. People might get upset about this, but from what I see, yes, people are sick in the hospital. There have been deaths, and I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's totally fake. I'm not saying that it's a big hoax. But I'm saying that, yes, at least here in the United States, they have used it to fearmonger. They pushed it to push more control, and I see that in a lot of issues, that, like, for instance, for our Thanksgiving, they said, oh, you should stay at home, don't want to kill anybody. You need to only have like 3 people, you don't want people dying from the virus. And it's like, yes, we need to be aware and we can be cautious, but we can also live our lives, like with the flu virus, people don't go out and not live their lives because we had flu. And now we get the coronavirus, and people are like, oh, we need to shut everything down. And that's my issue there is, okay, Yes, we need to be cautious. Maybe wear a mask, make sure we're not breathing on each other, and make sure we're staying away from each other, at least 6 feet apart. But why are we shutting everything down? You know, People say, "Oh well, Corona has killed more people." Well, if you look at statistics, and there's not really a lot of proof that all these so-called Corona deaths, at least here in the United States, um, aren't all directly caused from Corona. A lot of them, they had another disease. They had, or maybe high blood pressure, high like diabetes. They had, let's see what else. Maybe they're really obese. They had heart problems, whatever, anything like that. A lot of it, they had corona, but it wasn't a directly caused from corona. Corona may contributed it, but a lot of it had to do with the fact that they had this other disease or this other condition. So that's the problem. There is people, they're pushing the numbers. They're overstepping the bounds of, as far as for America, our Constitution, our rights. And people say, well, we got this virus, people are dying, so they really don't. And not just my opinion, but in what the Constitution says, we have these rights. It's not if something happens and then we lose the rights. It's we have the rights. Like we have our gun rights, we have our freedom of speech, we have, our right to, fair, speedy trial. We have all right, all that, and if they can take away our constitutional rights because of a virus, then it's not really a right. It's not really a freedom. It's just like with the gun rights, with Biden coming in. They're saying, oh well, he's going to take guns and gun rights. And if that's the case, well, that's not supposed to be done either. Because our gun rights, our freedom of speech, all the rights in our Constitution are God-given rights that we have. And, as soon as we let the government come in and start taking it away, we lose them. And see, that's the biggest problem, is we need to stand up and start, a lot of people talk about Civil War. I've mentioned it before, but my ideal is I don't really want to go that route, because it's going to be bloody and not a good thing. However, we do need to stand up and start coming against the government, standing up and saying, hey, this isn't fair, this isn't right. Start protesting more, start pushing against these government people, and I don't know who's going to win. There is things that are looking good for Trump, but it's not a guarantee. If he can prove that there was fraud, then they might look into it, and are probably going to look into it. But either way, if Biden comes in, we need to start, he start pushing, the Green New Deal, going back on being under the, Corona restrictions, quarantine. We need to stand up and say, hey, because the thing is, quarantine is not going to change the coronavirus. Quarantine is not going to set back people getting the coronavirus. We're past that. The virus is already out. You're not going to stop it. Quarantines basically for those who are sick, keeping away from healthy people. Well, the virus is out. You can't really take it back. So it's not going to change anything going into a quarantine situation, and it's going to close down more businesses. So that's my big issue there. Is you know, uh, like I say, I try to look positive about things. I try to, I want to try to be more positive because I just don't want to do politics that I'm against Biden and for Trump. And yes, I am. But I think it's more of an issue, too, is we need to come together as a country. Not let politics separate us so much that, we're arguing over Biden, Trump, that we're hating each other because different politics, different colors, because BLM or Antifa is coming and pushing hatred, and they're attacking businesses and they're looting and destroying buildings and stuff, and a lot of people think that BLM and Antifa are good, and they're really not. They're really pushing a lot of hatred, and even BLM said they're Marxist terrorist, and Antifa is basically an anti-American. They're fascists. They say they're anti-fascist, but they're really a fascist group. They attack people that have different beliefs, and yes, there's right-wing groups. And there's the Proud Boys and the Boogaloos and all that, but my issue is I don't agree with them. Like the KKK, the skinheads, I don't agree with any of the racist groups. Um, but as far as they're saying that the Boogaloos and the Proud Boys are causing, the BLM and Antifa riots, I don't believe so. If you look back, a lot of people, Antifa and BLM, were actually BLM, and they got away with a lot of it. But like I said, my issue now is not so much what's going on. Is I think we need to try to heal. Try to get the elections through, whatever happens. And I know it's going to be a big process because the Democrats have been attacking the Trump supporters for so long. And, we need to try to get past that, try to be a country again. And we also have to be careful of, if it's Biden as president, make sure what he's doing is good for our country. Just because we come back together doesn't mean we have to accept everything that's going on. And we have to, think about it and try to heal, through all these situations. Because Corona and all the riots and looting and the elections have basically made pitted right against the left. And we really don't need that. And my biggest thing is we need to come back together as one country. And we need to try to build this country again, try to build jobs. And people are looking at the Green New Deal and socialized medicine and stuff. That's not going to help. We're not a socialist country. Socialism hasn't worked. And so that's another problem we have to worry about. And I know it's not going to be easy because people that want to get in office, that are supposedly won the election, are for this. So that's another thing that people are going to have to be aware of is the Green New Deal, because it's going to cause more restrictions on jobs. And like I said, going back on quarantine. So, yes, I want the country to heal. Yes, I want things to try to go back to somewhat, I guess, quote unquote, normal. But I think we really need to heal our country. How? I don't know. That's a question for God Himself, because it's going to be a long path and fighting path, and so. But to all the people that might watch. I hope we can come together, not so much be left or right, a Republican or Democrat, but Americans. That's what we need to be again as Americans. That's my big thing. Is you know, I want to get past all this fighting and left, right, attacking people because they're protesting, whatever. Shouldn't be allowed to, no matter what color you are, to attack anybody. Shouldn't be allowed racism, well, no matter what color you are. Shouldn't be, hatred against anybody, no matter what color. And that's what we need to get past skin color, get past the racism, no matter who it is, and we need to heal our country. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope you enjoyed it.